What's up, guys? It's Nightmare, and I'm here on Dunadine's channel where we are totally chatting it up. Anybody thinking about playing paintball should definitely just stop thinking about it and just do it. That's actually a really cool story. So back in 2007, my best friend, we've been friends since grade 8. We met in grade 8. He basically said, hey man, I've been playing paintball for a while. He goes, this is a really fun sport. You should come out and totally try it. And I was like, paintball? Like, that sounds like it hurts, man. Like, I don't know. So he took me out to this, like, backwoods, like, shanty of a village kind of town. And we basically played paintball for the first time. And I had, like, the typical renter story. You know, I'm all fogged up. I can't see 2 feet in front of my face. I'm having marker issues all day. Believe it or not, I turned a Tippmann 98 into a fully automatic, and I still don't know how I did it. But this thing just started burping and going full auto. It emptied the entire hopper on the ground in front of me. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And so basically they hand me this, I didn't realize at the time, but it was a MagFed marker. So they're like, here's a magazine, and after you shoot the 10 rounds that are in this, you need to put 10 more in there. I was like, oh, right, this is cool, man. I'm going to absolutely love this. So, you know, you're playing, and all of a sudden, you know, you go to fill it up, and you're shooting away, filling it up. You're like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. And I really wish I would have known that was actually like MegFed Paintball at the time. I thought it was just something stupid. But it was actually like the coolest thing ever. It was so much fun to play. In the middle of a reload, I actually got flanked and shot in the back. It was like the most fun ever. And it was just such a blast. Like, that was my first time playing. And the funny thing is, that buddy of mine is Brad Odell of the Maritime Milsim podcast, and he and I still play together on the field to this day. After that, I didn't play paintball again until 2012. So that is a whole 5 years later. I was a huge Call of Duty nerd. I played every Call of Duty. I bought them all. I took a week off work every time release came out, and I would sit and binge it for the entire week. I looked at it and I said, oh my God, this game's been out for 6 months and I have 31 and a half days logged. It's like, out of 6 months, I spent 1 month of my life, 24 hours a day, nonstop, playing this game. Sitting around the 240 pound mark at the time. And I went white as a ghost. I almost went numb. Just a numb feeling all over my body. I took the controller, I literally set it down on the floor in front of me, stood up, walked over to my computer, and I went over to eBay and typed in Tippmann A5 and bought the first one I saw. And within the next month or so, we were playing paintball together for probably a solid 4 months, and then she got pregnant. That was pretty much the end of it. For her, anyway. I'd never stopped since. I went from 240 pounds to 185. MegFed. That's one of those questions you really don't stop and think about, like, why do I play MegFed? There is no other feeling quite like being in the middle of a firefight and reloading a magazine. I started off with a hopper. So again, Tippmann A5 evolved to the Tippmann X7 Phenom. And then from that, I was like, man, I'm wasting a lot of paint. I was buying a case every single weekend. I was doing that every weekend, a case of paint through an X7 Phenom. I was like, oh man, I can't afford to do this. So then I found out about the tat caps. So they're about yay high, and I still have it. It's in a storage bin. My first ever tat cap, very cool. And it holds about 35 to 50 rounds. That thing was awesome. So, you know, it was limited paint. It really slowed me down on how much I was shooting. I was saving money. Very good in paintball. This is when I started getting into Alabaster Slim's videos like crazy. I was like, oh my God, there's MagFed. This is crazy. Like, you can reload that. That's mind blowing. I didn't know you could do that kind of thing. Well, then suddenly I met this guy at the same field, and he was rocking a MagFed version of the Phenom. I was like, oh my God, like, where did you get that? You can get those here? Sign me up, buddy. Badlands.com. There I went. And I picked up the conversion kit for the Phenom. So then I was rocking the MKP too. And that's where my addiction to MagFed started. It was originally to save money, but then it was just an addiction. It's a challenge. It's knowing that I have the least amount of paint on the paintball field next to a stock class player is just a different mentality. But for some reason, people look at me like I'm this expert player when I'm really not. I'm no better than any other player out there. But they look at it and they're like, dude, that guy's legit. Like, look at the kit he's wearing. This is like the most anticlimactic story I could ever tell. I literally gave it to myself. My gamer tag used to be Abrupt Assassin, back when I, of course I was a hardcore killer in those Call of Duty days. I used to have this clan, and this clan was a top 50 clan in the Call of Duty Wars days. Like, they used to have like challenges and stuff, and my clan was one of the top 50. So that was pretty cool. So one of the things that drove me nuts was all the little kids that were in the clan going, assassin, abrupt, assassin. And I just got so tired of hearing that name. I was like, I need a name change. Literally changed my name to FBH, Fueled by Hatred, Nightmare. And that was my gamer tag for about 2 years after that. So then I started the YouTube channel. I was like, all right, cool. So what am I going to call myself? I was like, try my real name. It's like, didn't like that. And I was like, what else could it be? I'm like, Nova Scotia Paintball. Like, don't like that either. I was like, oh, come on, what could it be? And I was like, well, my gamer tag's Nightmare Paintball. That's what it's going to be, Nightmare Paintball. So that went for about 2 weeks. I was like, I really don't like the way that sounds. Then I was like, you know what? What's short for paintball? PB. I was like, all right, NightmarePB. That's going to be my channel name, and I'm just going to run with it. It's a mixture of everything. So when I see like Go Sports and they'll have like the NXL on the go, I'll watch that. I'll literally stop what I'm doing. I'll watch that. Just kind of go off topic. The reason why I watch that so much is because I want to see MegFed Paintball get to where the NXL is. I do watch other videos. I'll watch. Alabaster Slim is a good friend of mine. I love watching his videos. He puts so much quality work into his videos. I love Hidden Hedgehog's videos, man. Like, that's just like sitting back watching a story, so I could watch those all day. Wolf, I still watch him, as exuberant as his videos are, and as much as his audio clips because he screams so much. Still watch that. The only time I watch other people's videos that get sent in is when I'm looking to make a new video. So people often get the mistake that they'll send in a video and I'll watch it right away. Well, actually, it just sits in a queue until I need to make a video. So when I need to make a video, I'll just kind of go through the list in the order that they came in and kind of go through them. I get a lot of rejects. I'm not saying that people are rejects, but the video quality could be terrible. A lot of people don't understand that you can't use a waterproof GoPro housing. Your GoPro sitting on the top of your mask, because then it wobbles too much. So then I'll just skip right through those. So the only time I really sit down and watch other people's videos is like when I need to create content. That is such a good question. But I'm looking at my wall of MegFed markers and I'm thinking, all it takes is a group of outlaw paintballers out in the woods, a member of the ATV police patrol to go by. They see these guys dressed in camo guns. He could fear for his life, and the worst possible thing could ever happen. And I think that's like the worst case scenario that could ever happen to MegFed Paintball on any given day. But is MegFed Paintball hurting the sport of paintball due to the realism? I wouldn't say so, because those who play MegFed Paintball have a little bit of experience in paintball. It's very rare that someone goes, I'm going to play paintball, I'm going to pick up MegFed. So I think for when people go into MegFed Paintball, they present themselves a little bit of responsibility, knowing with what's going on in the world right now, this isn't something to walk around in public with. And they know that they should transport their markers appropriately, disassemble them when you can, keep it on the field, keep it in your house. Is MegFed Paintball hurting paintball? I want to say no. But does it have the potential to hurt paintball? Absolutely. But then again, the same thing can be said about a speedball marker. Although it doesn't look like a gun, you take that hopper off, to the untrained eye, it's something with a trigger and a barrel. So everybody just has to really play smart when they transport their gear, no matter what you're using, because the future of our sport depends on all of us using our brains now. Is not empty your hopper before you start playing. So I know I was really bad for this when I started playing. Was you get on the field, you're waiting to play, and all of a sudden you're just like ping, 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 and then the next thing you know, you have half a hopper to play a game with. Second thing I do is say, keep up with me. And if you can't keep up with me, keep up with the guy next to you, like the next experienced looking player. Keep up with him. You're not going to accomplish anything by sitting 100 feet back from the 50. Be aggressive. Don't afraid to be hit. It's only going to sting for a quick second. I guess the main thing I would say is just be aggressive and have fun, because that's what you're there to do. I don't want to say there's anything that does annoy me about it, other than not playing up front. But I mean, paintball is a very intimidating sport to someone who's never played it. So I understand not wanting to get hit. You don't want to, and there's also the team mentality of like, oh, if I get hit, I let my team down. So I'm going to sit back a little bit. Aside from like just them sitting back a little bit, I guess the only other rookie thing that really annoys me is lifting their mask off on the field. I've seen that more times than I'd like to say I have. And it's funny because I said that to a kid one day, and he came back the next week. He goes, I Googled it. I was like, what are you talking about when you Googled it? He goes, like, well, you told me to Google last week. Kid shot in the eye with paintball. He goes, my mask is never coming off again. I was like, good. It's brutal. It's disgusting. You don't actually lose the eye. You just lose all the vision in the eye, and your eye looks like this weird color. It's really gross. The thing that annoys me about experienced players is not changing your game style based on the opponent that you're facing. When I see the experienced players put a rope of paint into a far less experienced player, whether it be rental or whether it be their own gear, you can basically tell who's experienced and who's not. I've seen them put 5 or 6 into a kid, and it's like, why? What was the purpose of that? Oh, well, his head didn't go up. Well, it's like, well, give him a second. He's still processing that he got hit. Like, what's he going to do? Turn on you? Like, you're still 10, 20 feet away from him. Like, know your opponent. Generally, if you're shooting at someone, you know what they look like. You know, you've seen them once before you shot at them. You're not just, blindly firing at a bunker hoping that someone's behind it. So when you don't change your play style based on the opponent that you're facing, that really, really gets me. I've seen players like go that full 8 balls a second semi only and hit that bunker over and over again and wait for that person to poke out an elbow. It's like, well, dude, if that kid pokes out his elbow or his face, he's going to eat 5 or 6 balls consecutively. Like, his head's going to go out for a second, and he's going to get at least 5 of those balls. When you see in a younger kid, one shot to the leg or, one shot to the vest, that's all it takes. They know they're out. That's when I compete, that's a different story. I shoot till your hand goes up because there's a trophy at the end of the end of the line. There's pride. There's prizes that we paid to get in. Like when I play in the MML, I pay upwards to $200 to get in. In a competition, I'm going to shoot you 5 or 6 times. But on a walk-on day, it's going to be, if I see you whack, I shot you once, I'm going to wait, I'm going to listen. If I hear hit. But I really think that something that a lot of experienced players forget is that if you ruin that day for someone, that person might not come back. And paintball is an investment overall. Like, if you are willing to ruin someone's day, then you've just ruined the sport by one person. If they're not willing to come back, then that's one less person that we have to grow the sport, if you will. I've always looked up to Alabaster Slim. I still geek out when I still meet the guy because I looked up to him for years, and I've only met the guy 3 times in person. And so he's always still been an inspiration to me. Like, he had 100,000 subscribers, and I'm like, dude, that's awesome. And he's just a stand-up guy on the field. Like, he's like super chill, fun to be around, funny as hell. I definitely look up to Wolf. If you ever get the chance to meet the guy, he catches a lot of online flack, and it drives me crazy because there's 2 people in his world. There's Wolf and there's Andre. 2 separate people. He is the most polite, well-spoken, thought-provoking man you will ever meet. You could talk to him for hours and you have like intellectual conversations with. But then you go to the paintball field and you meet the real Wolf. If I could be that energetic on the paintball field or in the staging area, just like running around, like pumping my chest, like riling up the troops, like, come on guys, we're going to go, get ready. What are we doing? Like, it's just something that every player should look up to. Like, some people are like, oh, it's a little arrogant. It's a little annoying. But really it pumps me up, and I'm an experienced player. I'm like, whoo, all right, man, let's go shoot some people. Let's do this. Hidden Hedgehog. I idolize his artwork and his style of editing. I wish I had that time to learn Photoshop and Adobe that well, but I really don't. And I don't have that much time to invest in a video, but oh my God, I look up to that. There have been a few channels, and I can't remember the names at all, but there are some very respectful players out there that, again, they only shoot once, or they know how to move right. Dreadcam, if you have never watched his channel, oh my God, you have to watch this guy's channel. The way he moves on the field, he's like a ghost. He is so quick. He is agile. He just goes. And I wish I could play like him. And I would direct any new player to his channel and be like, look, dude, if you want to learn how to move on the field, like he will shoot at a bunker, put a player's head down. The next thing you know, he's right behind them. But one channel that I think every player could learn from is Danger Man. But he will teach you like beginner, intermediate, and expert level tactics on and off the paintball field. Little tricks, little life hacks. He was amazing. Like how to post up in a bunker, how to use a tree as a bunker. Should you lay down in paintball? Is there any benefit to truly going prone? Really, really good stuff. So if anybody wants to learn any cool paintball tactics, that is the place to go. Eventually, I plan to replicate those videos myself, but that's years down the road.